Hello, hello. Welcome to another day of Digital ILIAD. Oh, hey Vibes. What's up? Right on time. How's it going? We're getting started here on episode 7. We're making an FTL-like in Godot. We got a great subject for today's stream. Doors. One of the most complex objects in video games. What is a door? Is a helicopter a door? As Butterscotch will sometimes ask. You're doing awesome? I am also doing awesome. Just getting started with my day here. Early in the morning. Gonna do a couple hours of game dev before I have to move on to my day job. Alright, let us get to it. So yesterday, we got our doors all working. The doors were opening, they're closing. The issue we're mainly having is that doors at the moment occupy the boundary between two tiles. Which is not a huge deal, but it does cause some issues that we could work around. We could work around them by making something of like an airlock system. We could do something like this, where we always have pairs of doors that occupy a whole tile. That would make it easy to manage like varying pressures. Like if you're venting rooms for to put out fires, you'd have to open both doors, which is a little bit of a struggle, but it would be good for a lot of other things. I am not 100% sold on making this airlock like the basic door, like the default door in the system. It is nice because it gives us the concept of entering and exiting the airlock instead of just passing through a door, which is just this kind of, not even a tile, just this kind of intermediate space, which has a bunch of issues like where is the door then? Like if the door breaks. So right now on our tile-based system, the door really doesn't have a solid existence in its own tile. Where at least if we switch to like an airlock system, we can make that a little more explicit. So I think we're going to start with that. We'll implement airlocks. We'll implement characters entering the airlock, pausing in the middle of the airlock while the door behind them closes, and then the door in front of them will open. We might not use them everywhere. We might end up continuing to have a concept of this kind of in this single layered door, but I think we'll have a lot better idea of what that means and what we'll need to do for that once we've implemented this. So this is our airlock. What is our door? Our door is an area 2D, isn't it? That's fine. We don't want the airlock to be an area 2D. An airlock is two doors, a back door and a front door. And I think that's it. I think that's it for the airlock. I think we'll probably need to make a script and give it some characteristics. But at the moment, let's just keep it simple. So there are some issues that I need to think about, like I'm tracking whether a door has been flipped. And so if we want to flip an airlock, we might actually need to flip the two doors inside the airlock. Or just have the doors read from the airlock. I don't know. We'll see. I'm starting to get a better idea of how that might clash with some stuff I've made already, but it's still early days, so any change is not a huge deal. Anyway, how's your game development going, Vibes? You got your character moving yesterday. Let's see. Is any of this not going to work with the concept of airlocks? Yeah, I'm seeing the problem with it. We want to start putting these on the tile map, and there's some issues with that. Like when I'm painting a wall on the tile map, it's pretty easy because I have the wall basically exists on the tile behind it, and the walls are implicitly like one tile thick, so we only see this part of the wall, but it's implied that the wall is this hole. It's drawn here, but it extends back and occupies this whole space. That concept doesn't really work with the door. I think at the moment, I have the doors as their own instantiated scenes, but we're going to want to switch over to being able to place them in the tile. So I think we can get rid of door static. We'll keep it for now. Oh, we could put deck cutaways. I don't know why I haven't had those. I made them for aesthetic reasons here. Deck cutaways would be... Is that part of the floor? Maybe? I think I need to... I can't implement these as alternative tiles, right? Like I have the hall, which is each individual wall, and then I also have the corner. I don't think I can just implement that as an alternative tile of this. Maybe I can. Now let's not worry about it. So let's get rid of the door, I think maybe. Or actually what we need is another one of these. Another deck cutaway one. Yeah, it's gonna be wrong, but we'll fix that. Now we're gonna call this one. How do I rename these? I know I can. Oh, it's right here. Name. Deck. Flat. I guess it's deck cutaway corner. Deck cutaway flack. Move this up. Actually, can we reorder them? Yeah, we can. We just changed the ID. Door static. I kind of don't need this anymore. Let's just get rid of this one. Change this ID to 4. It's fine. So we need to fix the origin. Oh, is the texture origin not right? I thought it was. No, it isn't right, is it? Or maybe it is. No, it is right. Okay. What about the right side? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Now we just need to do the corner. I shouldn't have done this way. Delete that one, and then extend to this one like that, because this is just a whole one. I shouldn't need to do any positioning changes. It should just be good. Oh, nope, we need to bump it up by a little bit. Maybe two pixels. And by up, I mean down, so -2y, I think. think that's right. Let's see. Oh, nope, that's the opposite of what we want to do. We do want to do 2y. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, we're going to rename this layer. This layer to be... First we got to find it. There it is. Layers, walls. Excuse me. Doors and walls. And I do kind of want another layer for doors. Doors. We'll Y sort it. We'll set the Z index to be the same as the walls. Paint these onto the floor. Although, no, that won't work because then the tile map system is going to count these. So, no, we don't want these. Floors. Move these up. Check cutaways. Leave these on the same Z index as the floors. Alright, so deck cutaways. Those. Those. That's not right. So I guess this is supposed to, this should actually be behind the floors. No, this should actually draw correctly. Let me see. Is this just because we're looking at it? No, it is drawing in front of them. Okay. That's weird. What if we do that? Yep, there we go. Alright, this looks a little better. I like this a lot more. This looks a lot chunkier. Go fix the walls. Yeah, that's nicer. It gives it a bit more substance. Kind of unimportant, but aesthetically pleasing. Alright. So, what we want to do, we can take these doors out of here. Delete related animation tracks. Why are you telling me that? Can the animation tracks be like saved? Because they were different than what the scene they're instantiated from is? Whatever, let's see what happens. Do you no longer have an animation? No, you still do? I don't know what this is doing here. That looks right. All right, so we got our doors out of there. We're going to replace them as part of the tile map as airlocks. Maybe we start with just one. Tile map. So what we need to do, we need to add a scenes collection. Just fancy. Drag and drop scenes here. Yeah, let's put the airlock scene into here. Airlock. And let's throw one of these in here. On the doors layer. Okay, so the index 1, the index 1. Maybe this is an issue with the drawing here. Let's look at it. Yeah, that's weird. Shouldn't happen. The index is 1 here, the index is 1 here. Y sort is good. That's weird. It should be sorting in front. We do this. Oh, so there's something strange happening. Even if I change the Z index, it's still not being drawn in front. Strange. Probably an issue with the airlock. Maybe the airlock doesn't have Y sort enabled. There we go. Maybe that does it. No? Huh. Weird. Y sort's not enabled on the door. Does that help? No? There's an issue with the airlock's Z index. There we go. Yeah, okay. Easy. Alright. Okay, so we've got our airlocks here. Let's see if the doors kind of just work as they're already programmed, or if we have an issue. Okay, no, they don't work because we're not adding them to anything. We need to look through the tile map and find them. I don't want to move. Just the rectangle tool, right? Oh, that's for placing. I see. I do kind of want to move everything a little closer. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that. I'll just redraw everything real quick. I'm gonna change the layout of this testing area real quick. What did I do? A little scared. Oh, I got paint bucket tool on. Turn off. No paint bucket tool, please. Oh, can I do this? Sweet. We want like to erase that. Go to that. These. And we want to redraw this a little bit. We want the same kind of room, just a little closer. Not on floors. We want to get rid of this deck cutaway, maybe. Is this here? Stop hitting the paint bucket tool. Where is this? Oh, it's there. Okay. I want to redraw these. Get the corner in there. Put the walls back in. Actually, want to get rid of the wall here. Maybe this isn't what I wanted. Maybe I'm going a little over the top here. Let's go back to what we had. Yeah, that's better. Thought I wanted to bring it in, but now I realize what I can do is still turn this into a hallway here. And it'll just be a 3 wide hallway. Like that. Just want to expand my playground here a little bit. Oh, we need we need a wall corner here then. We actually need to erase the walls here. Here. Yep. Yeah, this is really gonna exaggerate some of our issues with the how walls obscure stuff behind them. This will be a good thing to have to fix. Deck cutaways. Add these everywhere. Get rid of the ones here. Need one more corner. This wasn't super necessary to do, but you know, I wonder if we can do some tile painting rules here to save myself having to draw this by hand every time I want to do some floors. Almost there, I think. I see a missing deck cutaway. That's it. Walls. We just need to add our door back here. This is kind of rough how this looks, but this is a problem we're gonna have to deal with. We're gonna have to handle this. Hiding these walls, that's definitely gonna be a task for this week. Alright, so we need to go to the tile map. No, not the actual tile. We need to go to the tile map script. And for this part, we were handling the doors as children. But the doors are no longer children. So we need to change this to be part of going through yeah, this is not something I've done before. But we basically need to go through the tile map and get the airlock. So we can get you cells. So airlocks. Airlock cells. Get used cells, and we want the layer which is tile map layer. We want the tile map layer. It is 4? No, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Airlock and airlock cells. This is going to get me a vector 2i. Okay. Could I maybe just get tile data instead? Oh no, yeah, I know what we want. Airlock cells, or airlock cell, and airlock cells. Airlock is get tile data, cell tile data, layer 3, coordinates airlock cell, What else is there? I don't think I need any of the other parameters. Yeah. And what is... gets me a tile data back. So we can flip the tile data. How do I get just the object? Is there a node here? That's not how this actually works. I want to get the scene. Let's get tile data, not the right thing here. Let's look at the tile map. I get the actual node. Do I need to go into the tiles? No. Maybe this doesn't work the way that I thought it did. Maybe I need to look how scene collections work. Let's look at tile sets here. Tile set scene collection source. This is what I want. Scenes are instantiated as children of the tile map. Maybe I do still go through them as children. Okay, maybe I don't iterate through. So in which case... Okay, interesting. Scenes are instantiated. So let's just run it and see what the remote scene tree looks like. Let's forget about the scripting I was doing here. Let's run this. Let's look at remote. Tile map. Okay. The first one is named airlock. Second one is weirdly just named at node 2D at 2.
You are now rocking with digital sis.
There's supposed to be like 48 hours of audio on this radio station. I feel like I've heard this song like 3 times. Okay, so this thing should work. This getting my children, getting them tile map children. Oh, the children aren't doors anymore. They're because I see. They're airlocks now. Of course this doesn't work. I'm just gonna give the airlock a class name. This might be overkill. But I feel like not. I feel like this is gonna be useful. So if the child is an airlock, well, let's hold on to this door thing. How do I comment out groups of code? Control K. Cool. Alright, let's get back to it. Sorry, my mind kind of wandered there for a second. So if the child's an airlock, we're going to need to worry about the flip, an airlock flip. Oh no, we don't need to worry about the flip anymore. Well, we do to an extent. No, we don't. We do not. We do not. As long as we're being responsible. I was thinking, because like you obviously can't enter an airlock sideways. You have to go through the two doors. But as long as we are reasonable about where we put the airlocks, as long as we wedge them in between two walls. I realize we're missing a couple walls here. But I don't want to put them in here yet, because I don't have a way of hiding them. But that's definitely like up on our list. This is disorienting the way the door panels have a different top texture. Let's maybe fix that real quick. Where's the door dynamic? Here it is. Like, I feel like what we want is like this. That would be more consistent with the walls. It's a little weird because of the way we're doing the lighting. I think this will mesh better with yeah, it's more cohesive now. Unfortunate the way walls obscure stuff at this angle, but we'll get to it. I guess I'm just upset because I haven't. Because it's gonna be tough, but we can do it. We got this. We got it. All right, let's get back to it. So if we got the airlock, we don't need to do this for sure. Not gonna worry about flipping the airlock. We just need to say doorways. Nope. position equals child as airlock. So we were handling everything as individual doors. We're going to now need to go through the airlock as an intermediary to get to the doors. So that's going to be the issue long term. I think right now I might just hack it so that for the next tile in doorways, door equals airlock. Well, because we need to do all of this. We need to do it for each door. We want to kind of wait. We're going to need to add some stuff to our pathfinding so that we enter the airlock, wait, and then continue on. And that will be interesting. For now, just to get this working, we can just try to pretend. Okay, let's do it this way. Airlock. Doorways. We should probably change doorways to airlocks since it seems like we are going to be sticking with these. So, airlocks. Let's keep a copy of this around for now. So now we have our airlock, and we need to grab our doors. Variable doors equals airlock dot get children. Door and doors. At the moment, I think we can just do this. Right at the moment, then they'll just operate as a 1, which I think is okay. Let's see. Nope, not getting nothing here. Let's see why. Lock.get children should do it. Doors, there are instances of the door scene. We're not doing anything. Let's look at the, oh no, this is the pathfinding part. So if next tile is in airlocks, make sure we're adding the airlocks correctly. Airlock position, this child is airlock, yeah, that should be good. Get enough of these. I think I'm just gonna, I think I should do a match probably. Match child. Is this how this works? I don't know how to do the match. Let's not worry about the match right now. LF is the child is airlock. This is returning a node. Maybe that's the problem. I think so, though. The way my understanding of Godot is that this should happen. Let's just see. Let's just get a breakpoint here. See if we're getting here. Okay, so we're not even getting there. That's the problem. Next tile is in airlocks. Map, airlock position. Airlock position is child position. That should be good. Fix my chair a little bit. I am slouching. That's better. Alright, so why are we never getting here? Are we... I mean, we must be evaluating this, right? We evaluated that immediately? That's bizarre. A tile between us. Oh, no, anytime we're calling arrived at next tile, obviously. Duh. So we're doing that, but we're never getting here, are we? Is that ever evaluating to true? Should right here. No, it's not. Why is that, I wonder? I guess let's scrutinize airlocks. Let's see. Airlocks dictionary size 0. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. We're never adding the airlocks. Child is crew member. Else if child is airlock. Did I never attach the script? No, I did. Child is an airlock. Weird. Because I'm not using this for anything? Variable. It's not an automated variable, is it? Maybe it is. Oh, I can just do this. I can just drag these in. Keep forgetting that. Now we have something. We got back door and front door. Just want to see here. I want to take another look at our remote scene tree. Airlock. Airlock's got its children. I don't think it really says what it is in the inspector. But it's there. It's weird. Alright, let's try to understand why this is happening. Child is an airlock. See if we're in doubt we're ever getting here. No, yeah, so we don't ever evaluate the child as an airlock. Well, dot name. Make sure we're iterating through everyone. No, so we're not even getting to the airlocks. Why is that? Am I doing this too late? Or too early? That's not possible. It's ready. Maybe I need to do this a different way. Okay, so maybe I still don't really understand how this works with tile maps. Let's look at... So scenes are instantiated as children of the tile map when it enters the tree. So for some reason, either get children just doesn't return these, or this isn't the right time to do this, to iterate through their children. I mean, there's a way around this. Huh. Okay, well that's fine. We should probably be able to... We should at least be able to register these, doing it like bottom up, like going from the airlock. We just don't do it this way then. Let's just call like... See what kind of link, what signals I could emit here. Is there like an object? Tree entered, maybe? An airlock tree entered. Maybe that's what we want. Maybe that's what we'll do. Airlock tree entered. Airlock like this, and then we just do this part. We just do basically this, airlocks local to map airlock dot position is airlock. That should be all we need. Though maybe that's not right. Emitted after. This might not work right. Because we also need to connect the signal. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it quickly enough. If we do func enter tree, and we say I want to say enter tree entered dot connect. We want to connect it to their parent. Might not work this early in the loop here or in the process, but we're gonna try it. Tree entered dot connect. The signal might have already fired. I think the signal fires after the function, but maybe it doesn't. Get node. Can we just say get parent dot on tree on airlock tree entered? Can we do that? Is that gonna work? Just curious. So we got some errors. Error calling from signal tree entered to callable tile map on airlock tree entered method expects. Oh, we need to send. What we need to do is we need to do like a signal forwarding thing. So we need to connect this signal to ourself. And then pass it along to our parent. Yeah, we might need to just do this on ready. But I kind of want to learn the limits or the timings of these initialization functions. So we're going to try to do this aggressively and see how it works. Yeah, because I need to inject. I should be able to connect. I want to look at the signal connect. Callable flags. Optional flags can be used. You can provide additional arguments to connect to callable by using callable.bind. .bind, okay. So we should be able to do .bind self. Does this work? Let's scrutinize. Trigger that breakpoint. The door's opened. The door's opened. Doors opened at the same time. Which I think is fine behavior if there isn't a pressure differential. There's time to get through. We're gonna try to chain these and see how the behavior works. So we're gonna send this person through. See if the door tries to close on him. It does, and then it reopens. I think that's okay. I think that's acceptable. We're going to see how close together they need to be to cause that to happen. So right now they're about a tile or There's a tile between them, I would say. Okay, in that case, they pass through, the doors don't attempt to close. That's fine. The first test we ran was about as close as they're going to get the door shut on them, I think, and it worked out okay. If that becomes a problem, we can just increase the timer, I think. We can just increase the door closing timer until it's no longer a problem, until there's enough time for the signal to get passed along. So that's cool that this worked. So that the tree entered, that was reading this, the signal is emitted after the related notification, enter tree notification. Is what made me think that the tree entered signal would fire after the enter tree function, which is necessary because we need to connect. We're using the enter tree function to connect the signal, the tree entered signal, and we're not passing it. Maybe what I'm doing here is like overkill. This mouse entered function, and then we just emit, like, maybe the signal chain is not necessary. That's the inclination I'm getting here. So what are we doing right now for this? How do I... So crew member, yeah, because we've connected the signals here. I don't know if we need to do that. I think we can do this. We could just say... I think we could connect this signal directly. Right? That's what I'm doing here, basically. And then we would just bind ourselves to it. Let's try that. Let's refactor this real quick. Because if we don't need to use signal relays, that's kind of great. I mean, it's not so bad to do the signal relays, but I am curious if this works. Then we're going to disconnect these. I'll actually just comment them out to be 100% sure here. Let's see if this works still. Yeah, works fine. Okay, so signal relay is unnecessary. It's a nice thing to know. I don't know if I love the way the highlight disappears behind walls. Maybe it doesn't matter. Right, well I think that's... Unfortunately, I think that's the easy stuff out of the way. Am I doing this anywhere else? Not really. Probably not. We could keep working on the airlock, but I think that's gonna cause some changes to the pathfinding to be made to create this behavior that we want of the we wait. We go here. So what happens if I wait here and I wait for the door and then that's a problem. Yeah, so at the moment, if you just stay in the airlock and you wait, I mean, you try to pass through the airlock, it's just, you just pass right through it. So the airlock needs to understand occupancy to an extent. Needs to understand if someone is in the airlock. I don't want to do that right now. That'll probably require some big changes to pathfinding. Get rid of all this. This is no longer necessary. We're only really getting the crew members here. And honestly, we could do this the same way that we are. We could get this out of here and do this the same way, the bottom-up way that we're doing the airlock. Anyway, the thing that we need to worry about first and foremost, I think the most important thing is getting a way of seeing through these walls. Because, I mean, let's do it correctly. Let's add the 2 walls that should be here. Oops. Should be 2 walls here. The way this obscures is just really not good. And we really need to just have a way of hiding these walls. Because at the moment, you know, I send these characters around and they are just gone. They're just gone from view. Something we'll probably do is like an inline. Instead of an outline, we'll have like an inline on the character that kicks in when they're obscured by a wall, so that you can see characters running behind walls. You can see their outline. We will do that. That is something we will do. But I also am thinking we could do a couple other things. We could roll back the walls as like maybe with a joystick kind of thing. Like maybe these kinds of walls are like if you move your joystick up and to the left, it rolls back the walls along this axis, along this. And then if you scroll up or not scroll, if you use your joystick up and to the right, maybe it rolls these walls back. We need to find a good PC, a good keyboard analogous motion. We could do a middle mouse drag. Like you hold down your middle mouse and as you drag it around, it interprets that motion like you would a joystick. We could do that. But first, what I want to do is just a system that either hides the walls or makes them transparent when you mouse over them within some radius. So like if I moused over this door, nearby walls here would become transparent. Just to make it easier to see what's going on wherever your visual focus is. I think that would be a good solution. But to do that, that is going to be mucking around with the tile map data stuff a bit. Like we're going to be replacing tiles, which I don't love, but that is the way. Question is, are we going to just make existing walls transparent? Are we going to need to replace them with a transparent wall? Should we just hide the walls? That would probably be the easiest thing to do, would be to just have the walls disappear. Is it going to be the whole wall, or are we going to try to do like a carve out process? It should probably be the whole segment of a wall, and by segment I mean these sections delimited by black bars. It's probably what we're going to do. But here we go. Time to wade deep into the tile map here, I guess. Let's just start looking through our tile map and seeing what we can do here. So unfortunately, I think this is what we're going to be doing, the tile data runtime update. Layer, so we can be layer specific, which is good because this is only going to apply to the walls. We're not going to apply this to doors or floors, just walls, so we'll say that. We specify specific vectors. So I think the simplest thing to do right now... Oh, but here's a problem. I need to know what wall I'm clicking. And here's the problem with that. Well, these walls, like you can see what tile I'm clicking on here in the left corner. It's probably really small, so it's hard to tell. But this let's say this corner wall here, just this corner one. This one is technically on tile 1-3. But if I'm mousing here, so I'm mousing here on 1-3, I'm looking at this wall. I'm mousing here, it's 0-3, I'm looking at this wall, at the same wall. Same with 0-4, -1 -4, -1 -5, -2 -5. So all of these tiles, these 6 different tiles, all of them are really just this one tile. 1-3. As far as like visually, I could be mousing over any of these 6 tiles, and I'm probably, and I could be, it's not guaranteed, but I could be referring to this wall, 1-3. And what's even tougher is 0-3, -1 -4, and -2 -5 all refer to this wall as well, the adjacent wall next door here. So we need to be able to grab, so we're probably not going to be able to hide walls at a finer granularity than these 2, and maybe even these 3, because yeah, it depends on how we look at this. Okay, so we need a way of consistently getting these walls and getting the tile associated with them. We can't just use collision layers because these are tile maps, so I don't think I can be more specific unless I do something crazy like make every single one of these walls a node, which I don't want to do. I don't want to make each of these walls like its own scene. That would be the crazy person response. So let's start small. All we really need to do is figure out what tile we're talking about and maybe turn that tile off. And the easiest way to do that is to say, here's where your mouse is. Look at the tile your mouse is over and then zigzag down. So go +1x, +1y, +1x, +1y, +1x. So do that, make that zigzag for 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. So 2y and 3x up to that, but it's additive, so we're going to need to iterate through. We're going to need to look for a tile. We're going to look and try to find. So we'll get you cells for walls. We'll say, hey, I'm moused over here. Check the tile I'm moused over, and then ... these 5 other tiles as well. And if you find a wall, then what? Then what do we do? Do we just delete the wall? Then how do we remember a wall was there? Well, we would need to keep track of the walls that we're hiding, I guess. So we're not only going to need to add walls to the walls that we're hiding, we're going to need to remove. And by remove, we're going to need to... So we're going to need to hide walls and unhide walls. Okay. You know, this seems practical. It seems doable. Apologies if this is one of the more boring streams that I've done. But, you know, we're building it. We're gonna build this thing brick by brick here. And bricklaying is not always the most exciting activity. I mean, I'm sure it can be thrilling in certain circumstances, but we just ask Churchill. So, are we going to handle this with the input handler? Is that who has to do this? Probably. Hidden walls is going to be... Is it just going to be... Just be an array, right? It doesn't have to be a dictionary. Maybe eventually it has to be a dictionary once we have different kinds of walls. But at the moment it can just be an array. Hidden walls... We also would then need to... Sorry, just let me alphabetize my variables here. It helps me. I say as I do it incorrectly. I don't know if this needs to be an onReady variable. I don't think it matters when we make this. Right? Like, we can just put this up here. Let's make sure I didn't break anything. No, seemingly not. Alright, so we've got our hidden walls. We also want to track wall tiles. So floor tiles are tiles from that layer. Walls are on layer 1, I think. We might rearrange some of this stuff at some point. Definitely before we start making actual level designs. Floors, walls, deck cutaways, doors. So walls are layer 1. Wall tiles is used cells 1. That's good. I don't know if all of this is eventually gonna... a lot of this stuff is eventually gonna need to move down to the tile map, I think. As soon as we have multiple tile maps, like as soon as we have multiple ships that we are switching between, this stuff is not going to be able to live in the input handler anymore, I think. Okay, so we've got our wall tiles. We've got our hidden walls. Let's just take a quick second and double check how we are going to. So tile data runtime update. Wait, this method is only called if use tile data runtime update is implemented and returns true for the given tile chords and layers. The tile data's objects. Oh, no. Oh, wait. The tile data objects sub-resources are the same as the one in the tile set. So don't change the tile data. Well, then how do I... Maybe this is not the right... I think this is for updating the tile data itself. We just need to... We're just going to be adding and removing tiles. You know, that might be a problem eventually, but maybe not. Because no one's going to interact with walls unless we start to add, like, destructive walls. And if I add destructive walls, I will have probably gone insane. Set cell. This is what we want. Or maybe clear cell. Clear layer. Erase cell. This is what we want to do. We're going to erase a cell. Unless we decide we prefer transparent, semi-transparent walls. Which we might. We might prefer semi-transparent walls. Can I make an alternative tile that is a semi-transparent? I say, not remembering how to make alternative tiles. Do I need to do that in the tile set? Yes, seemingly. How? Create an alternative tile. What can I do with this thing? So can I... Texture origin. Your texture origin should be the same. 8, 10. Modulate. Yes. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to implement this. We're not going to erase walls, because that would be crazy. We are just going to make them semi-transparent. I think that's the right move here. Problem is we have to remember... doing corners is going to suck. What? Delete. Oh, these are different. Oh, okay. Hold on, calm down. Create an alternative tile. This one is -8, 10, I think. But also is going to be semi-transparent. Now the real question is, how do I refer to this tile? Okay, no, so this is 1. This is 1, 0, 0. So this is source 1, coordinates 0, 0. This is source 1, coordinates 0, 0, alternative 1. Okay, so as long as we're using the same... So maybe corners won't suck. Because they use the same source and the same coordinates. Texture origin is 10. Why are you complaining? Terrain set is less than 0. I'm gonna pretend that's not a problem. All right. So Alright, I think we have that part of it ready. We could even try drawing some of these just to make sure that this is kind of what we want. Like, let's put a couple of these here just to see how that looks. Yeah, that's fine. 50% transparency. That is fine. We could honestly even just do that by default. We might end up doing that by default. Or at least make it an option. You know, Moth. Hey, welcome to the chat. So, this is an FTL-like. But instead of being a top-down version of like Faster Than Light, where you know, are captain of a starship and you're piloting, you're directing your little crew around to do their little things, you know. We're doing it in a kind of isometric. We're doing it at a weird 4x1 isometric. We're going for kind of a classic Star Trek vibe with this. We're still early days here, kind of on week 2, so we're just barely getting our pathfinding, our inputs going. We're working on an obfuscation problem with this tile map here. But yeah, if you've never played subset games, FTL, Faster Than Light, highly recommend. Really good game. Kind of the way that I'm hoping this looks in the end is something like this. This is kind of a little proof of concept I drew for how I'd want maybe the bridge of the starship to look. Obviously it's too busy. There's like way too much going on here, but this is just kind of my vibe that I'm hoping to get to. Kind of a pixel art, very rough, very low resolution pixel art look. But yeah, your main activities are going to be, you know, commanding your crew, you know, getting everyone on their stations correct, manning weapons, working on the engine. You'll be, you know, fighting other ships. Oh yeah, okay, good. You like FTL. I don't have to explain the basics. Yeah, the big differentiator for me, in my mind, is there's a couple of things. Obviously, the art style is very different. I'm hoping to make the ships a little bigger. Right now, we've got the camera pulled in a little tight, but I'm looking at maybe doing something more like something of larger scale. Like maybe this is the scale. So this is only occupying a portion of the screen, but big ships. I'm looking to do a little more directionality, a little more positionality here, where like maybe there's ships behind you, to your left, to your right, in front of you. Like add a little bit more. So maybe you're fighting more than one ship at a time. Obviously, you wouldn't render the other ships at full scale. They'd be like quarter scale versions or something like that. But FTL is really my guiding star, but I'm just going to try to kind of turn a lot of the elements up to 11. That's kind of my goal. We're kind of exploring as we go, so I don't have, you know, an incredibly crisp idea of what that's going to look like. Just going to take things one thing at a time. This is also my first game I'm making in Godot, so this is also very much a learning experience for me, so we're kind of just trying to tackle problems one at a time. So we'll work on the game, we'll build it up a little by little, we'll listen to what it wants to be, and we'll kind of adjust from there. So maybe a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about doesn't work out. Doesn't the camera angle make it hard to move characters in a tile-based movement? Sort of. I think showcasing where the tiles are is a challenge. Moving them is less of a challenge. The problem that I'm running into is just obfuscation. Room-based movement. We might see something like that. I'm not really sure how big these rooms are going to be in the end, practically. I think positioning your crew in empty space is not really what you're going to be doing a lot. I think a lot of what you'll be doing, like in FTL, is commanding units to go to points of interest, like one of these computer consoles maybe, or like an intruder or something like that. So I think it'll be more like interest-based movement. Like you'll be able to position just so you can be efficient. One thing we implemented was the ability to swap out characters. So if you send a character to a tile or a station that another character is on, they'll just trade places. I really want to animate like a high five as they do this. That's like a goal for me soon. Add some character to that. So yeah, I think you're right. I think navigating in empty rooms is going to be challenging, but I think it'll be more about, you know, making sure you have someone on this weapons console, or, you know, maybe there's like a power conduit somewhere in this hallway that explodes and you need to like send someone over there. We'll see. We're working on airlocks. We were just before this. We were working on airlocks, so who knows? Maybe we'll have spacewalks or something where you send your crew onto the outside of the ship to go do something. I don't know. Kind of the sky's the limit here, but yeah, right now what we're really working on is just making it so that you can see behind these walls. I made these walls transparent here just as an experiment, but I think I want the transparency to be controlled by where your mouse cursor is. Unless I just want the transparency to hold if something is behind the walls. I mean, maybe I want all the walls to be transparent. I don't know, but we're going to try some things. Hold on. Let me see. If it is room-based, then those little dudes can move around looking at things or so. Oh, that's a good point. That is a really good point. So then you're more like just assigning people, like you're like oh, we need another crew member in the engine room. So you just send them off into the engine room, and then they kind of do their own thing when they get there. That is a good point. I did want to give these characters a little bit of a mind of their own, so that if they don't have, like, if you haven't given them an exact assignment, they'll kind of wander around and do different things. I do want a little bit of that, like kind of rim world, like these creatures have a little bit of a mind of their own. So room-based movement, that's a good point. I'm gonna have to think about that. If the rooms end up being small, like FTL style rooms that are like mostly like 3x3s or something like that, I think that would work pretty well. That's what you thought when I said they would high five each other. Yeah, I was thinking of that just for when one of them displaces the other, because I was thinking like maybe you'd assign one of them to, like, maybe you needed someone on a weapons console and you grabbed the person who was closest and you just sent them there to get someone on there, and then you were like, this guy isn't good at weapons, I'm gonna grab someone who's better, and you send them there, And then so when they eventually get there and they replace each other, and like the one who's better replaces the other one, and they sub out, I really did want a little, just some little morale boosting little like high five thing. But yeah, having little interactions between them I think would be really great, because getting character out of creatures here that are only like 14 pixels tall and don't have faces, I think is going to be really about behavior. So that's a good point. Depending on how many rooms I try shoving into these starships, having it be at least adequate, so that you could say, I'm going to move this character into the engineering room, and then when they get there, they'll be like, I'm in the engineering room. Is there anything I need to do in the engineering room? And then maybe they'll assign themselves to something. I would still like them to have the ability to, or to give the player the ability to precisely be like, I'm assigning this person here. Like, you need to go to this exact station. But yeah, that's a really good idea of just making it at least sufficient to just send them in the right direction, and they'll kind of task themselves to an extent. I really like that kind of automation where, in the absence of explicit orders, the characters will kind of do something that's like, okay. Obviously, they're not going to be efficient. So if you want to be efficient, you need to like micromanage them. But I do prefer some level of autonomy for the characters, so that if you don't feel like micromanaging them, there at least something like somewhat adequate will be happening. Okay, so that's a good idea. We're gonna think about that. We're gonna really look at that as a way of handling. Thank you for that idea. Some good ideas have been coming just from the chat, just from talking with viewers, which is great. Like this whole airlock thing of having doors form airlocks is also results from a conversation I had yesterday with the viewer, Captain Fubar, and that was really good. So I really appreciate the input. All right, so the problem we have right now is we're trying to make these wall tiles transparent when we mouse over them. So like all the wall tiles within a certain radius of the mouse are going to be made transparent, and we're going to do that here in the input handler. Here in the input handler. And I think we decided we are going to just be using set cell. So, and all we're really going to be doing is resetting the alternative tile, because I made some alternative tiles that are transparent. So when we need to, we can set cell and set the alternative tile. We can use the same source ID, we can use the same atlas coords, and we just change the alternative tile. And that should be adequate for substituting. That allows us to continue to remember what tile we were using before, and so we can just set it back. I really like Godot 4's tile map system. I know a lot of people say that there are some issues with it. I haven't run into them exactly. I kind of ran into some of them when I was doing a previous prototype of this game, where I had like a much more vertical sense of the ships, where I had like multiple deck layers, and I was like, oh, that's such a great way to add even more to the ship, is if there's multiple decks, and you could be like, oh, I need to move up from the bridge deck way up top down to like the engine room. But that ended up being kind of an interface and a pathfinding disaster, so we're moving away from that to an extent. We might keep some of it, like the ability to go onto the outside of the ship, but that we can handle especially if we use airlocks, or even like lifts as like a kind of way of shuttling people between tile map layers or pathfinding layers. So we might still get that to some extent. I'm not dismissing it out of hand. I don't want to think about it right now. But we might still get there. Okay, so we're in our... Nope, we're not in our input handler. We're in our input handler. we are going to be looking at our mouse tile. We'll add this down to the bottom. I need to refactor this stuff eventually, but we're going to look at our mouse tile, and we're going to check our mouse tile and all of the tiles below it in like a zigzag pattern. So we'll yeah. And we are going to look for a wall. And any wall we find along this search pattern, this kind of zigzag search pattern, we are going to make transparent. I don't exactly know how I want to iterate through that. It's kind of a weird one. This is not the right script. I'm getting a little lost here. Here we go. Yeah, so for our mouse tile, what do we need? We need to look for our wall tiles. If I made wall tiles, how do I search in there right here? Is there just a simple index of has value variant? Does that work? Yeah, sick. Would it be easier to use a shader for that? Maybe. The answer is maybe. The issue that I'm having is just like, if it was like this, if these were separate scenes and they were like our character, because yeah, I just have a simple selection outline shader for the characters here. The problem is, to me, the hard part is not getting the effect. It's like determining where we want to apply the effect. So yes, maybe it would be better to just make an area around here transparent, but then I need to be able to distinguish between the walls and the doors and the characters, and I can't really use collisions with tile map walls here, so I can't just trivially be like, yes, I'm mousing over you. And yeah, it does have to do with the fact that the tile's down here, but the character extends up into here. So we'll try this first. We're going to do a large portion of this game Randy style. Randy, the great game dev YouTuber. Because Randy has a pattern which I like, which is you start with the caveman solution, like the simplest thing you can think of. You wait until that becomes a problem, and then you follow it up with a slightly less caveman solution. And you just kind of repeat that process until you have a refined workflow at the end. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go to work soon, but I do want to see if we can at least knock this out in the next 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. Alright, I don't really want a song with vocals right now. I like specifically was like, don't show me. Like, I want instrumental only songs. This is better. Alright, let's focus. So we've got our mouse tile. We're gonna zig and zag. So the simplest thing to do that would be to just define up to 5 values. So let's do that. Let's define an array of values here. What are we going to call these? Maybe like search pattern. Seems like the easiest way that we're gonna. And then let's just. Search pattern. I know I could define it. It's a constant. I could define it up top. Whatever. We're just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it here. Equals. Can I just define it like this? I don't think it's gonna like this with the indexing. Vector 2, 2i, 0, 0, 2i, 1, 0, 2i, 1, 1. We could easily do this with like an alternating like Boolean value as well instead of do it this way. But let's just do it this way for a second, assuming it will. Search pattern is not oh. It's like, what do you mean search pattern is not declared? 2, 1. And then vector 2i, 2, 2. Is that right? Yeah, we'll check. This one, this one. Look at the tile map. Show me the tile map. Here we go. Oh lord, what did I do? There we go. So plus 1x, plus 1x, or plus 1x, plus 1y, plus 1x, plus 1y, plus 1x. Oh, there's 6 values. I only wrote 5. Web dev, you know, I was a Unity hobbyist for like a really long time. Like probably, what year is it? I don't know, at least like 15 years. Just a hobbyist though. My day job is more like, I wouldn't say web dev, it's more like back-end stuff, but it's like really homebrew kind of back-end stuff. Like I spend most of my day just working in like Google Workspaces with like app script and stuff, just like working on large sets of data. Just doing very like, I'm kind of the only programmer on my team, so I have a lot of leeway to write bad code as long as the behavior is good. So yeah, don't expect good programming practices from me here. This is also my first attempt at doing like pixel art. So all right. So let's say for coords in search pattern. Reset of coordinates in a search pattern. We're gonna look at mouse tile. Coord. So if wall tiles, if mouse tile plus coord in wall tiles, can I say that? Coords in wall tiles. So if we have this, we're gonna just say tile map tile map set cell. Oh, we want to know the information here. How does this work? Are there defaults? There are defaults. And if I pass the defaults, it doesn't change it. So can I pass in named variables here? So can I specifically skip these and say I want alternative tile is 0? Or do I need to specify these? Oh, if any of these is -1. Okay, so let's at least get the values so we can pass them forward. Maybe we want this to be a dictionary so we can remember what the values are. Oh, or we just have to scrutinize the tile map. Get these values here. Can I just get the cell first so I know what it is? That'd be the easiest way to start here. Get cell tile data. And then tile data gives me... This isn't exactly what I want. I want its source. Oh, we want the get cell source ID. And we want get cell atlas coords. Okay, so we can say that. So if let's go back down here. So if mouse, okay, here with this. We're gonna call this offset. For each offset in the search pattern, variable coord is mouse tile plus offset. And then if coord in wall tiles right now we're going to work on just setting the transparency. We'll work on cleaning it up after. Coord in wall tiles, tile map, okay, variable source ID equals tile map dot get source, get cell source ID, layer is 1, coords is coord, and that's it. That's what we want. Variable atlas coords, tile map dot get atlas, get cell atlas coords 1 coords. Okay, this way we can keep track of. Oh, thank you for the follow, Moth. Really appreciate it. I am regularly streaming now, between about 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So definitely, if you're available around then, really appreciate your insights here. Please stop by in the future. I am going to have to probably end the stream soon, but I really want to see if this, we can at least get this working. So if it's in the wall tiles, we also want to say if not coords in hidden walls. Is that fine? Is that acceptable? Go. Still getting used to their like plain English syntax here for stuff. I really like it. It's just it doesn't work at these random times for me where I think it should. Like with evaluates to and like not equals and stuff. But for iterating through arrays and dictionaries, it's really nice. Source ID, we got our source ID, we got our atlas coords, so now we should be able to just say tilemap.setCell. Layer is 1. Coords is coords. Source ID. Atlas coords. Alternative tile is going to be 1. And then we'll say hidden walls. And coords. And this should give us transparency. Let's see. See what we got here. All right, we're doing it. We're making walls transparent.
It's not exactly clear whether they even truly exist.
Oh, these ones aren't.
Physical universe.
Why aren't these ones working right?
If one day physics finds a use for them, that's great. But if
Yeah, thank you. It feels great. So why is this one not working? Source 10, Atlas coordinates 10, source 10 at alternative 2. Oh shoot.
that would mean that we have
I thought it was just like a binary.
a tiny thing, a septillion.
Oh, that's rough. So we're gonna actually have to check the Atlas coordinates. That's fine. We're just gonna like hard code this right now and figure out a smarter pattern later. A dictionary. I'm gonna say tile alternatives. Hold on. Let me go back to the tile map here. So this one is Atlas coords 0, 0. This is Atlas coords 1, 0. Okay. Zero, 0 is 1. Alternatives 1, 0. That's what you are, right? 1, 0. Yep. It's 2. Then we just no, not tile, not coords, Atlas coords.
If they do, if one day physics finds a use for them, that's great. But if not, that's great too.
Valid get index 1, 0 on base dictionary. It's weird. No alternatives. 1, 0. Oh, vector 2. I should make these vector 2 eyes. That's why that didn't work. Okay, so left and right work. We're making them. We want to do a bunch of other stuff. We want to like, we don't want to just do the tile that we're moused over. We want to do like in a radius. We also need to make them solid again once we're no longer mousing over them. That part should be easy. Let's see if we can do that right now. It's in wall tiles. If not chords and hidden walls. We also just need to iterate through, or you need to iterate through this twice. No, we need to iterate through hidden walls. For wall and hidden walls. We can grab this. Okay, now for each wall. Are we just gonna do this within this? We want to say walls that aren't in the search pattern. And how are we storing the wall? The wall is just a vector 2, right? Okay, if wall is not in search pattern. Okay, no, so for each. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. There's so few of them. We're just going to do this really stupidly, and we'll make it smarter later. So for each wall, variable chords is mouse tile is wall, variable chords is wall, variable chords is offset. Why am I'm like rushing through this, so I'm not thinking about it very clearly. We might fix this next time. It is actually after 9:40. I want to clean up the wall tiles, but we're probably just going to leave that for tomorrow. Because I really do have to get ready for work. But we did this. Well, it's not much. We did the airlocks, which I enjoy. I do enjoy the airlocks. We need to make a locked version of the airlock where, like, they enter the airlock, they wait for the air door behind them to close, and then they proceed through and the door in front of them opens. So we need a little bit there. But that's going to be like a partnership with like pathfinding probably. To be able to do that, the airlock's going to need to manage this to an extent. And so we'll get there. This is okay for now. I can be happy with this for today. Anyway. Moth, thank you so much for stopping by. It was really nice talking to you. Hope I see you another time here. Streaming, like I said, 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. weekdays, Pacific time. I gotta go run to work, so I'm gonna cut this outro short a little bit, but this has been fun. Yeah, and until next time.